so you'll be able to...
Right, I'm standing outside Government House in the Northern Territory. Obviously this man doesn't want to discuss it, but could you please inform the public as to why the oath is not available to the public? Why is the Government House locked off from the public when it's a public meeting?
Where are you from?
I'm a Northern Territory resident.
What's your name?
My name's Steve.
Yes.
Nice to meet you. I'd like to come in here and see the oath this afternoon. As a Northern Territory resident, I think, according to law, more than able to do so. So please advise me and the public as to why...
my office, I'll have a talk to you about that then.
Alright, and your office is the Office of Administration up there? So your boss would be Sally Thomas?
The administrator, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
you are? David Blenheim.
David Blenheim.
Yeah.
Alright, cheers for that.
No worries.
You are more than welcome to watch it on television, I would imagine. You are more than welcome to watch it on television, I would imagine. You are more than welcome to watch it on television, I would imagine. The new ministry will probably walk across the Parliament House.
We have every intention of entering Government House this afternoon, and this is now on camera. I, Steve, and John have every intention of walking into Government House this afternoon before oath is taken. We have every intention of serving Mr. Giles' paperwork before he takes that oath. I've already served paperwork to Sally Thomas in exactly the same aspect, so I'm sure your office are already aware of what's going on.
Right, well, I don't
and that is when we get to the question...
I've never met you.
No, I appreciate that. That is where we get to the question of who owns the government. And every person I ask, even the courts, even the director of the courts, even the police commissioner, even the sergeant down... Well,
so who in your eyes, who owns the government?
This is government, something that can be owned. I don't know. That can be owned. I don't know. That can be owned. I don't know.
Own the government?
Listen, guys,
if we own the government, do we not have right to access our parliament? And all parliamentary... On invite. Under what act of law are you denying me access to my parliament?
I'm not going to talk to you about
this. This is exactly what we get. Okay, ma'am, do politely speak to me. I believe there's some policemen here to speak to me.
I haven't seen policemen as yet.
Oh, okay. Well,
maybe if you go out the front you can have a look and see if they're up.
Well, no, I don't really want to leave the building because my whole prerogative here is to issue papers to the Parliament. And like I said, I'm a public person and I'm here to do a public job on behalf of the public to inform this corporate government upstairs that it has no right to my Parliament. And I act and stand here on behalf of all Northern Territorians when I say that. Okay, so the act of you lot forcibly attempting to remove me from a public building, I will return with point of law to stop that from happening.
Would you like to go through the front?
Well, no, I'd like to actually go upstairs where oath's going to be taking place, thank you. Can you please guide me up there?
No, I cannot.
And why are you refusing me access to a public building?
I'll just walk over here.
Okay. Can I ask you why you're refusing me access to a public building?
What's happening for half an hour?
It's finished.
It's finished?
Yes.
So you've kept me out this whole time? It's alright, I'm here to serve him paperwork whether he's in oath or not. And that's all about power and water. board waiting there. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. As long as you don't break the law. Oh, John.
It's clean by law. It's pretty full on, eh?
Where's your badge, mate? You lost it. Today, bullshit. Where's your badge, mate? Sorry? So that's your excuse. You're a public officer doing a public servant role and you haven't got a badge on? And you haven't got a badge on. What's your name? What's your number? Sorry? Can you speak up for the camera, please? Ben Hoskins.
Pavel Makalik.
Sorry?
Pavel Makalik.
Pavel Makalik. Theo Kamarnidis. Thank you for wearing your badge, mate.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to understand.
So this is pretty full on for me to say, okay?
This is full on for me too.
Because this is law and it's fact. It's true. I can't explain it any other way than that.
What were
Just ask you your name, mate.
John Walters.
Just ask you your name, please.
Shane, mate.
Shane.
Walters.
And your last name?
Oh, Barry.
Berry. Shane Berry for the camera.
I'll have a bit of a Google and see what they're about, and if they'll speak to us, then we'll go from there. But
They will.
yeah, that's fine. But what's my?
They just need it for a second.
I do have one here.
I'm just trying to get my head round.
13 or 14?
If
14, 3, 13.
14. Okay, if we haven't got jurisdictional law,
Yeah. Who has?
who's going to run the territory?
I know, mate.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here, trying to work this out. Okay, this is...
Are you saying you guys are going to?
Well, no. We have to put the territory into
You
administration,
have to.
which means somebody has to come along
What
and
about all
take
the other
over.
states and territories?
They're going to have to follow suit.
Everyone is in the same
See,
boat, mate.
we have a very distinct advantage here in the territory that
more?
we don't have a statehood for starters. We don't,
That's
don't have a massive
So
layer of...
we're under the Commonwealth.
We don't have a
No.
massive layer of policy, state, civil order to get through, to get to the court.
How did you guys find out about this stuff?
I've been doing
pull my
this for
paper-
over 10 years.
pull my
I've been
paper
waiting
out.
for this, literally.
I've been in court for 2.5 years here in Darwin and got to the point where your magistrate won't answer that question. 2.5 months now, she hasn't proven to me jurisdiction. That was put into a court in front of her. So, and I've been to the Supreme
Is that
Court.
put through a lawyer or just for you?
What
just
do I
by
need a
handing it
lawyer
up?
for?
It's a question.
How can you?
It's a question.
It's a question.
What do I,
Why should
what do
she
I
be
need a
answering?
lawyer for to play your game?
Why would she
Hang
be?
on. These guys are saying they don't know nothing.
Yeah,
Why would
well
she
that's
be
what I'm
answering
saying. What do I need a lawyer for? You're trapping me into playing your game. Now I'm supporting myself. I have the whole entire world of law at my disposal, not just because your solicitor told me to play civil order.
The biggest thing that you guys are probably trying to get your head around, like, they're saying the whole place is being shut down.
Right?
There with the boss. Anyway, but that's
The
beside
real
point.
difficult
Beside the point.
thing
What I'm trying
is
to.
she was asked to prove this 2 months ago, the chief magistrate, and she's failed to. And in her jurisdiction, that goes down as truth because she's failed to. Now I can use this in law because she's failed to. So she has every option to come and answer to this question. I welcome her to do that. And I welcome her to do that in public. Tell the Northern Territory where your writ of permission is, because you don't have one. You're a statute commercial court. End of story.
Okay, I want to establish something right here, right now, and don't take offence to this.
Yeah, no,
I want
go.
to make sure that there is going to be, number one, with regards to this today or in the future,
Yeah?
that there'll be no violence.
Oh,
that comes from
absolutely.
you guys.
Absolutely. The violence comes
It
from
doesn't
you
come
guys.
from us, mate.
How many cops turned up to this building today, this morning?
That's to make
I
sure
count-
that's to make sure that our people
I
who are
count
in government.
maybe 18 of
Yeah,
them.
that's fine. We want to make sure
Over
that,
2 guys.
and we don't know that there might have been other people around. We don't know. We've got to come down here and investigate it and make sure that there's,
You don't
it's
ask-
not a conspiracy or something. Okay?
Go and ask the manager of the library. I spoke to him. I said to him, I'll leave because I don't want to cause a ruckus in your library. I came in
That's
here,
fantastic.
and this is what I said to security. I have right by person, I have right by public. That building's public. That parliament's public. That oath is public.
However,
I am the public. You as police officers, regardless of this or not, if we were still in current law, you still have no right to stop me from going in there.
Because you're in commerce. Do you
Right.
realise that?
Even the commerce aside,
Not in
because I'm a public person
have to
wanting
realise
to
that.
approach my public parliament, you seriously don't have right of law to even allow me to stop me
but there
to
are
do
certain
that.
rules that must be adhered to.
What, in
to
your
actually go in
world? In your world.
So it's not your...
No,
because
it's not.
I'm the public. I'm the public. You have a badge at the moment.
That's one thing you've got to really realise. It's completely different.
Right, if you take your badge off, put it all on the street there, yeah, come with us. Because you're part of the public. But while you stand there wearing your badges, or not your badges, and I point this out, make sure these guys wear their badges on the streets, because if they get in confrontation with me or John or any of the public, how do we know who they are? So they're actually breaking your law by not wearing a name badge.
Just got to make it.
But bottom line is,
Steve,
I came
if I
here
can
to
please,
do
Steve,
this
look.
with a pen and a piece of paper. There's no fight. Do you see 10,000 people standing behind me ready
And that's
to
why
march?
we're all down here. Make sure that that something like that doesn't happen.
We have law.
But it's going to happen.
We have law. If
Okay,
this
that's
doesn't...
out of our hands.
Can
That's
you
right.
ring me and let me know when and if that's going to happen at any time?
No.
It's on tape. He is trying to stop us from entering a public building while a public thing is going on while they sign oath. All right, so you are basically saying to me that I am not allowed access into a public
there'll
building.
be 2 reasons because of the way that we're conversing. You seem a bit...
Well, I'm passionate
No,
about
because you
this.
don't actually know what's going on.
That's right, and I'm passionate
Okay,
about
you
saving
know
the
what's
people
going
of the
on.
territory.
You will go, what the fuck's this shit?
Yeah.
Literally. Okay,
So,
that's what I
and-
would suggest. You get into that research and understand these court documents.
Because at
They're
some
real in Australia,
stage, you guys are liable.
Look, if it was such a case, then we would have been advised and we would have been thrown out. So it can't be...
I tell you this, okay? Try to get your head around this, fellas. You right now are part of the world's biggest scam. And it's simple as that. Yeah? It is. That's the fact of it. As much as that might be hard to take, that is.
You want to come and speak to security now about where you will and won't be allowed to move?
Do you understand that?
Do you understand that I'm in the public and I will move wherever I like in a public building?
I'll have security explain a couple of things.
I've got paperwork to serve security right now. I went down the road and printed that.
Let's go. I'll take you to
John, I'm just
I
going
understand.
to... John,
Yeah, I've already got mine.
I'm going to just go and see the Director of Security. Look, we don't mean to be a pain, and your family's involved in this.
What I can tell you is the administrative precinct.
Are we getting official now, Mr. Michael
Spears.
Caldwell? I serve you with papers, Mr. Michael
The
Caldwell.
Legislative Assembly has prohibited you from entering the precincts of the Assembly under the Legislative Assembly Powers and Privileges Act,
Might I address
and
to you,
require
sir?
require me to prohibit you from entering the Parliament and remove you from the precincts. And I believe you've got a map of the precincts, so you know full well where we're talking about. You are liable to prosecution if you do not leave the precincts now. Do you understand that, Mr. Spears?
No, I don't understand that.
Leave the precincts.
I do not
Leave the
stand.
precinct.
I do not stand under your rule.
Mr.
Now,
Spears, I'm telling you
I'm
to
asking-
leave the precinct.
now,
as
may
an
I
authorised
respond?
officer. Mr. Spears,
May
one
I
last
respond?
time. One last time, Mr. Spears. Will you leave the precinct?
Yes, I'm prepared to leave the premises.
That's all we're after.
Yeah.
Then we're all happy.
All right, can I just make a response to him before I
No, you
walk
cannot.
off?
I'm not interested.
He doesn't
Leave the
need to hear your
precinct.
response. You
You've
can direct it
served
at
him
us
that
once you leave the
Mr.
precinct.
Spears, it's now a police matter.
Right? It's got nothing to do with him now. Like you said, it's a police matter.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
We have asked you to leave the precinct. If you trespass again, we just lock you up.
Well, you don't have right of law to
Yeah, we
do
do.
that. No,
Yeah, we
you
do.
don't. We will argue that. Go into the Supreme Court and ask Chris Cox.
Don't worry about that.
Go and ask Chris Cox.
So we'll lock you up.
That's
and then
fine.
We'll argue about when we're at the police station.
Lock me up and I will
Well,
charge
I
you.
don't have to yet. I'll give you a chance to leave.
All right, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 police officers. Wow.
Canberra will listen to more than what they will up here because we come under Canberra.
Canberra got foreclosed.
All right.
Look, I'm going
the jumper minutes.
Can you and I and John take a seat somewhere where it's nice and cool and get these guys just to stand back a little bit while we have a chat? Because we would really like to get you guys to understand that we come from a lawful point of view.
I'll tell you what, we would love to listen to what your story is.
Yeah.
Right? Unfortunately, he's the intelligence guy.
Right.
Right? He's the smart one. So he's the guy you need to speak to.
Okay, so...
But listen, just give me 5 seconds, all right? You can't do it inside the parliamentary precinct because...
Oh, no, I'm asking him to do that now. We walk away from... Go and sit at a coffee shop for all I care.
Yep. Right. The thing is, though, if you do come back into this area, then we have to lock you up because we've told you that you've been trespassing. Right. The thing is, though, if you do come back into this area, then we have to lock you up because we've told you that you've been trespassing. Right. The thing is, though, if you do come back into this area, then we have to lock you up because we've told you that you've been trespassing.
And I'd be more than welcome that from you.
Okay, excellent. Because that's what will happen.
Because what will happen then is we'll go down to your police station. I'll get Mark and Caro to come downstairs.
Excellent.
Right. Mark's already been served this paperwork as well. We'll go through that process of you fingerprinting me and going through your whole process. Then I'll end up in the magistrate's court where they can't answer their questions already.
Excellent.
So
we'll do that.
Then that gets thrown out and we're back to square one again. I come back in here, we go round in circles, we go round in circles.
The only difference is we're getting paid to do it. The only difference is we're getting paid to do it.
That's right.
The only difference is we're getting paid to do it.
That's right.
The only difference is we're getting paid to do it.
That's right.
So,
and if you take that attitude, I'm not getting paid to do this, and I'm doing this for 280,000 Northern Territorians, not 11 or 12 people in blue uniforms.
Go and speak to Matt. Explain your concerns to him. Don't come back in here. Sounds good.
When you finish, get on the phone to the police commissioner.
I will.
I was in here with him this morning.
I understand. He told me.
All right. He knows exactly he has no right or law to remove me from this building. He already admitted to me this morning that it's public infrastructure. He already admitted to me this morning I have right of access into that building. And
until we refuse it, and we've done it.
You can't refuse it.
We can.
You can't refuse the public access to their parliament.
Yes, there's legislation for the parliament precinct.
So who owns the parliament?
The Speaker is in charge.
And who owns the parliament?
The Commonwealth of Australia.
And who are the Commonwealth?
The Queen owns us all.
See, you got that wrong.
Just blows down.
Go in there right now and ask. Let's go for coffee.
Let's go and sit down. We'll just sit down.
I just want to sit down with him and have a chat because there's a bench over there. He's obviously a reasonable chap, and we're not actually breaking any law. So.
I realise that, but I'm not going to sit down and talk to a person who really doesn't want to know.
Well.
Why am I sitting down there? So I can listen to you.
Come on.
I don't know.
As long as they don't follow, there's no need for that.
Did I at any stage say I didn't want to know? Or why do you think I came out to speak to you?
See,
I want to know what...
I'm actually appreciative because this morning when I spoke to the police commissioner, he knows what the hell's going on. Chris Cox at the Supreme Court knows what the hell's going on. Why they won't tell all you guys is beyond me. Because
you're the guys that are getting in fucking trouble. You're individuals at this point in time.
That's right. When I went into the Supreme Court to sit down with Chris Cox yesterday, he basically
Chris Cox is
the director of the courts here.
Right.
Right. So he's the top job of the administrative side of the whole entire judiciary system here.
Right.
Okay. So I've actually got him on video admitting there's no constitution here. What point of law are you using?
What kind of law are you?
Under the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act 1900.
Okay.
That is my point of law.
Okay. So
that's my standing.
So what particular section?
What particular section? The Crimes Act 1914 S13.
Well, whatever.
Right?
I'm refusing to sign it.
This is acknowledging that I understand the law so that I can become a public officer and use the law.
Okay, well, whatever. There's no legal basis, in my opinion, for this document. So
under what act? Under what point of what act? I'm refusing to sign it.
I'm refusing to sign it.
Admitting that there's no... He has international law. That's it. There is nothing else but international law in this country. Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act 1900. How in any way is this international?
Well, first off, you've got that wrong. I did not say that at all. I said it's not an international document.
Oh, that's what
And
I
public
said,
notaries,
but then your secretary said she
she's not
heard
my secretary.
you say,
She's a member of the registry.
okay, the lady of the member of the registry said
Okay,
that
so
she
public
heard you
notaries,
say.
you wanted me to sign this as a public notary. So public notaries only sign international documents. There's no legal basis for signing.
And that was admitted to me on tape by Chris Cox. That's up on YouTube right now. And within...
They're trying to take it down.
They're trying to take it down. Within 2 hours of me getting home and publishing and all this stuff, it's gone. It's been deleted from the internet. Who can have access to my Facebook account like that? Right? That's exactly right.
It's true.
And then when I put this video up on YouTube, less than 12 hours I get a takedown notice from YouTube. So what, I pushed the right button?
I don't know, Chris Cox might have contacted him.
See, so that's exactly right. See, so...
He might have been misinformed, I don't know.
From my point of view, I want to come in here with a pen. And that's been my attitude for the last 2 years, is that there's no point in uprising and being angry about all of this. I was like that at the start when I got touched. And then I ended up in court. And because they screwed around and didn't follow their own rules, that's when I started to question what was going on.
Were you running your own case, or
yes.
was it the cops?
Well, no, I had
I
had a lawyer running my case for me, but when I started to question the court, she put in a cessation to act on my behalf. So I had to defend myself. So I started doing my own research, and then, boom, can of worms after can of worms after can of worms.
That's illegal. What he's doing right now. Right?
Yeah. I've already been to Brendan Dowd about council. Because council, they're unconstitutional. In 1988, Australians went to referendum to vote against council, and then at the end of 1988, they installed the Local Government Act 1988 from the UK and forced us to have local government. Right? So I can see all of this, and I asked Chris Cox up there, do you want me to explain it to you? No. He knows what's going on. He knows that the law that I've got in mind, he's screwed.
So if we don't run under the laws that are already in place,
see what
are we going to do?
This is the problem. This is the problem.
This is the biggest
problem
we're facing, mate.
This is